Alright. Dynamite Delight. Where are we now? I know I can do this at the end of the video. I'm not doing it now. Then. I'm doing it now. Where are we now? When it comes to the build to World's End. Honestly, I look at what I got here. I don't have many storylines here. We currently have Caster. We currently have Hook. We got the storyline of the Death Riders with Jon Moxley, Jay White, Orange Cassidy, and Hangman Page. We wonder what's going to happen with Christian. We wonder what's going on with the women now that Anna Jay is going after Mercedes Moné. We also have Mia Shirakawa dealing with Mariah May. And counting with everything else in between, going with the Continental Classic, is it good storytelling? I gotta say this. There are stories. They're here. That's it. They should be here. Look, I'm gonna say this now before I get started. I did watch Raw. I did see what happened with New Day. I know I was considering doing a Gump report on it. I am still considering doing a Gump report, and my feeling is how New Day has been around for so long. It is something I'm thinking about making. Might be the next video next to either this week or next week. I'll be making my state of WWE or TKO WWE. And then last one will be the state of TNA. But in between that, I may make that video of New Day. If you guys want to see it, just tell me below. I am still considering it. But I watched it. And I'm going to be honest. That is the best storytelling I've seen all year. From any of the companies. And that's saying a lot. Mostly due to the fact that everyone loves New Day. But then you look at the storytelling here. And I'm telling you, seeing MJF legitimately feeling like he's not the bad guy in this, but he's got to play a bad guy, and the story doesn't feel right because it's been left for so long. And worse yet, do you want to see the story? It's like, where are we? Where are we now? Let's move on. Continental Classic, Blue League. We get Shelton Benjamin versus Kyle Fletcher, which was a problem for me personally. I'm sorry. Even though after it was over and you saw look, it was a great match between Kyle Fletcher and Shelton Benjamin. But I truly say this now. I don't care about anyone else. I just felt like neither one of them needed to lose. Both of them needed to win. You could have put them at the end of the tournament and then face each other after you had more development for both. But no, you placed them here. And one of them had to win. And unless there had been some type of weird ending where maybe they got 1 point each, one of them had to be jobbing out. And I didn't want to see either one of them job because I didn't feel like it was wise to job either one of them out because Kyle Fletcher's doing well. But then the Hurt Syndicate needed more than to have, again, Shelton Benjamin lose to somebody like, guess what? A Swerve Strickland, which he shouldn't have lost. But we get Kyle winning. And then we get this segment in the back with MVP being very upset at Shelton Benjamin. He says he still loves him, but he's disappointed. And you hear Bobby, you gotta get angry. Some guy bumps into Shelton, beats the fuck out of him. That's Shelton. And then also Bobby beats up a security guard. The camera goes dead. And then they talk about, oh, we got some problems here. Bitch, I am telling you, this ain't right. Do I need to see one of the members of the Hurt Business, now known as the Hurt Syndicate, get his ass cleaned by a Kyle Fletcher? No. The Hurt Syndicate needs to be off on their own and not need to job to anybody. You know what this reminds me of? Do you know what this reminds me of? You had Final Testament. Who did they go up against? The Judgment Day. It was like that. And it was stupid to put the Judgment Day against Final Testament. What was the fucking point of having them up against one another like that? It felt like that. Unless I'm forgetting, and it's not the Final Testament and Final Testament and I'm forgetting. I'm forgetting now. If they weren't even together, I'm pissed. I just feel like this was dumb. The Don Callis family and the Hurt Syndicate didn't need to even interact. They should have been left on their own to work on their own development, and we just got this. Next. Let me give it to you like this. When you look at the Dynamite dozen, the Battle Royal. Was it the dozen Battle Royal? Honestly, who did you think was going to win? Who? Did you actually believe it was going to be anybody other than those two? Did you actually believe that you weren't going to have Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, who were in the match, go after that Dynamite Diamond ring and have an opportunity just to get their hands on MJF? Did you actually think anybody else made any sense? Look, they had members of the Don Callis family, Brian Cage, and the one who said straight into the camera, "Don't look at him, look at me. Don't look at him, look at me." And that was Adam Cole getting his face smashed in by Lance Archer, who has never gotten anywhere in the company. Ever. I'm like, really? You got all these people that you're doing nothing with. You got teases. Action Andretti and for some reason Leo Rush now wearing the same ring attire. I guess they got that set up on, if it's not Collision, because I didn't see them on Collision, guess where it is? Rampage. Something happened on Rampage that brought these two together. And they said, oh, these two are wearing the same clothes. Guess what? It was probably set up on Rampage, which has the lowest ratings, and no one cares. Then I look at Butcher. Don't see the Blade. I don't think the Blade's there either because he's injured or he just left the company. Like Bunny. But I think he's just injured. They could be doing something with him. Something. Nope. As a big guy, they just use him as an obstacle. You look at absolutely everyone in this match. Who did you actually think was going to make it? Did you actually think anyone was going to make it? Hell, guess what? I'm about to say Netrunners. The Outrunners were not there. You know why? They didn't want to let them feel like they got a job. Look at FTR. They weren't there. They wanted to make sure that no one that could have some type of good credibility was in that damn match. Practically everybody, including Top Flight, you see him getting angry. Nothing. Yes, there's a good chance Top Flight is going to be up against Leo Rush and Action Andretti because there may be controversy now. That might happen. But is that an important storyline? No. Probably barely will see any development on Collision, and it'll all happen on Rampage. This is where a lot of problems are happening, and it pissed me off. Next, we get the match that I'm like, really? Oh, before we get started, I want to say this about MJF. What I said in the beginning of this video. What is MJF? Is he a heel? Is he a face? I'm sure you're going to say, dude, he's a heel. He doesn't feel like one. He feels like a forced heel at this point. Because of how all this madness is going on, which is so late. I know he did a great job trying to make it mean something. Kissing the damn ring. But still, it feels like this feud feels so late. Because of the injuries both guys had. And now it doesn't really feel important. And it feels like they should have gone away from it and tried something else and then build a new type of feud instead of what they got now. I'm just saying it. Now, Caster, Bowen, and Daddy Ass in the back. And they're trying to talk some sense into Caster. He doesn't want to hear it. He wants to be the best in the world. He is the world's greatest wrestler. And Daddy Ass is telling him, it wasn't you, it wasn't me, it wasn't Bowen, it was all three of us that made it work. It is not just about one, and he doesn't get it. And he says, I am the best wrestler in the world. Guess what happens? Bowen says, Go out and prove it. Where Daddy Ass is saying, no, he needs to stop. And Bowen says, you think you're the best? Go and prove it. And the minute he comes out there throwing some bars, talking about messing with Swerve's wife, messing with Swerve's house that got burnt down, and messing with Swerve, not only did he get his ass handed to him, he didn't just get one drive-by. He got 3 to the damn face and then a stomp to the chest for his trouble. Bye-bye. So we're getting something with Caster, and that's interesting. But is it going to be good interesting? Because right now, I don't know what he's going to be doing. Look, if they're smart, they'll set this for World's End, that either Caster's going to go up against Daddy Ass, or Cass is going to go up against Bone, which I think is going to be Bone, and Daddy Ass is going to be at ringside. But they must set this up correctly. If they do not, it's going to be shit. After all the work that Cass has been saying, I'm the best wrestler. The world's greatest wrestler. I am the best wrestler. If they don't set this up correctly, and they just give us a match without proper build-up, it is going to fall on his damn face. I am just saying it now. Next, Pac versus Jay White. Now, this is the first time they've ever met each other in AEW. I don't know if they ever met each other on the Indies. Probably they did. But it's the first time in AEW. I like the match, but I'm going to be honest here. I'm biased. Pac's my boy. Pac is my boy. He's my boy. I'm sorry. He has been there since the very beginning when he wrestled Kenny Omega. He is one of the OGs. Yes, he had to wait a while before he can actually come to the country. And then he had to wait after COVID to come back due to the problems of travel because of you know what. He has been an OG. He is my boy. And I've been wanting him to be in a storyline that made him relevant. But why in the blue is the blue fuck that he had the job again? Every storyline he's ever been put in, if he's been put in a storyline, he has to put someone else over. I have barely ever seen him be put over himself. I've barely seen him even be utilized correctly. I know you're going to say, what about Death Triangle? I know. But let's make this clear. This wasn't about Pac. It was about Death Triangle. Him getting over Penta and Ray Phoenix more than anything else. And that pisses me off. I'm sorry. It's not that he can't talk. It's not that he can't wrestle. He can talk. He can wrestle. He's got the look. But they don't want to go there with him. The most they'll let him have is what? The All-Atlantic, International, Trios titles. Now, what? 3 times Trio or 4 times Trio champion now? At this point, I don't remember how many times he's won the damn Trios titles. I personally don't care. But I want to see him do something more than this. He's got the proper attitude. He's got the proper look. He's got the proper character. And they're doing nothing with him. He lost to Jay White. So did Wheeler Yuta trying to help him to win the match, and he couldn't win the match. And what did we get? Jay White doing it. He nails Pac. He nails Wheeler Yuta. Then Marina Shafir comes out. Then Moxie comes out. Then we get Orange Cassidy trying to choke him out after he sees Hangman Page up the ramp. And then you got Page, you got Orange, and you got a Jay White getting their moments in. Do I feel interested in this storyline? I'm still wondering who is in charge. Do I actually believe it's Moxley? No. Do I believe it's somebody else pulling the strings compared to Moxley? It better be. If it's not Shane McMahon, I still say the only other person that this makes sense, and he doesn't even have to wrestle. He could still be unable to wrestle. He just needs to pull the strings until he fully recovers, counting if he can walk normally. That's Adam Copeland. If Adam's not pulling the strings, if Shane McMahon's not doing it either, this made no sense. I don't give a damn. It is no better than when it came to the Bucks. And worse yet, fucking Tony Khan not disappearing for months or the next year and just staying out of the screen and making it implied that the Bucks are running everything. Not Tony running anything. He is injured. He's unable to run the company. It's got to be the Bucks. No, we didn't even get that. He didn't even stay away for even 2 months. He stayed away for maybe a month and a half, comes back, and gives Darby Allin in his SUV a nice fist bump. Bullshit. Let's move on. A match that I felt... What? This match felt very long-winded. Anna Jay versus Penelope Forbes. I love Penelope Forbes. I think she's a great talent. I think next to a good look, she can talk. She has ability. I know Anna Jay's been doing well because she was in Dark Order working with Brody Lee. She had good development. But what had Penelope had? None. And then we get this match, which supposedly is almost a 2-year in the making match. Because they couldn't face each other because either one of them were injured until they finally came back. Didn't feel important. Because this is more about... Look, we know Anna Jay was going to go after either the world title again or TBS. She finishes up the match. She beats Penelope, who has really gotten nowhere. And then she calls out Mercedes, who is all by herself because Camille has been... Well, she doesn't fire Camille. Camille quit. But essentially speaking, she calls her out. She says she's going to come after her. And Mercedes, with her attitude, which was all right, saying, when you work more than 10 years in the business, you can come back, pats her on the head, and then gives her a smack in the face, ready to throw down, but then no throw down, because Mercedes is going to watch her. Oh, no, I got stuff to do. No, I got stuff to do. Which is fine. You can build this up, and it's going to be at World's End. Fine. I have no problem with it. I'm just hoping in between World's End and now we get more development, because now we have the match itself. We need more from each of these women. We need something. Next, Mariah May in the back with Renee Paquette. And the interview where Mina Shirakawa, walking along, sexy piece ass, walks along where Mariah May's boobies, woof, I'm surprised the nipple wasn't showing. That there was so much chest. I mean, there are women who have clothes that will show this much or this much. She was like this. Her tits were bent that way, boys. Boys and girls, they were bent like, whoop. It doesn't matter if she had big or small boobs. Those suckers were bent as far as they can go. She went, I'm going to stick them there with tape, and they're not moving. And that's what we got. But then we get Mina Shirakawa eventually showing up with a champagne bottle. Says, crack it in my face. Because, as Mariah May said, she's my best friend. I'm giving her an opportunity where she's not supposed to. And now I'm going to make her work. And she says, Mia, all right, here, crack me in my face with it and make me work. Okay. Because Mina Shirakawa can talk some English or good English, this is the best I've ever seen out of any Japanese female wrestler. I'm not saying that's great, but at least they're letting her talk and use her skill. And this is one of the major issues we've always had with women Japanese wrestlers. If they couldn't speak English, we didn't get no translation. They just did matches. And if they could speak English, they didn't let them. Look at Hiro Kushida. She can speak very good English. Look at Emi Sakura. She can also speak English. But they never did anything with her in English. I'm like, what is the point of having these women here if you're not going to utilize them correctly? Use a little bit of Japanese, a little bit of American know-how, or Canadian know-how. I don't care. I don't care if the storylines are from Canada. I don't care if the storylines are from America. Use one of them with a little bit of Japanese in it and make it feel important, but it isn't. Oh, Bendengo. I forgot his name. Bendendo. It has been so long since I last saw him, I forgot his name. but you know who he is. They actually did a vid pack of him in an old West town, and they're worried about him coming back. And, okay, does this mean they're going to give him storylines, or he's just going to have matches again? That's going to be the question for me personally. Okay, final match. Gold, because we already had a blue league, we got a gold league. Claudio Castagnoli versus a Brody King. Very hard-hitting match where Brody King was bleeding from the nose. Alright with it. Didn't have a problem with it. But did I believe Brody King could actually make it to the end? No. They may do something with Claudio because he's part of the Death Rider. He is more up than Pac. This is Pac. This is Claude. That hurts me, but I do love Claudio. And I'm not surprised he won. But the question's going to be now, where are we? Where are we now? Going to World's End, we got stories like with Hook calling out Christian, but Christian didn't want to do a damn thing. He got basically laid out by everybody else, and then his hand gets smashed. Then we got Caster and his storyline. That's what we got. Then we got Moxie's storyline, where he's going to be possibly facing 3 guys in a blank. Well, calm yourself. In a Hangman Page, in an Orange Cassidy, in a Jay White, possibly at World's End, he'll be doing a Fatal 4-Way. But will it give us something? Then we have what's going on with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole dealing with getting that Dynamite Diamond ring from a MJF, who feels forced at this point as a heel. As a heel, he now feels forced due to the fact of how long it's been with the storyline. This storyline has been so long in the making, and the way it feels, it's feeling forced at this point because of how they built it. I don't know. And I know you're going to say, well, Anna Jay is also a storyline with Mercedes Moné, but we don't know how they're going to develop that because she's no longer dealing with Mariah May, because Mariah May is dealing with Mia Shirakawa, and it's one of the few times I can actually see a real female Japanese shoji, I believe that's how they pronounce it, shoji wrestler who does know English, and the writing team let her speak it, even if it's only a few words. At least there's been development with her because she can speak some English, she has been interviewed, and at least I feel something from her. So I'm like, where are we going now? Where are we now? I don't even know what I'm going to put as a title. As I feel, I don't know. Like I said in my state of AEW, I don't know what's going to happen. I have to wait until after World's End and the beginning of January that I can do my next video, part 2 of the state of AEW wrestling. Because if there's no Adam Copeland, if there is no Shane McMahon and his Mox, fail. If they don't build someone else other than the people they already have that are just sitting in the back, they got 160 people, fail. Mia Shirakawa, she needs to be more important. If she's not, fail. And I'm not even saying Mia Shirakawa should be the greatest. She's not the greatest wrestler. It's not the point. They need more better writing. But it's just me. Peace.